They didn't even look at me when they said it. "Go live in the streets," my father yelled, his voice bouncing off the cheap wallpaper like a final verdict. My mother just crossed her arms. "You're a useless failure, just like we always feared." I remember standing there, with my duffel bag, half packed with clothes that still smelled like the home they were throwing me out of. I didn't argue, I didn't beg, I just smiled. And that made them angrier. They thought they'd broken me. They had no idea they'd just handed me the perfect stage. I wasn't always the disappointment. I was the golden child once. Scholarships, awards, a quiet kid who built things instead of breaking them. My father used to brag about me at dinner parties. "Our son will make something of himself." Then I chose a path he didn't understand. I quit my corporate job and started my own software company. Small, quiet, hidden behind closed doors and sleepless nights. For a while, it looked like failure. To them, I was failure. They didn't see the code that kept me up till dawn. They didn't see the investors who said no before one finally said yes. They didn't see the day my app hit 10 million downloads. They only saw the months I couldn't afford rent, the nights I skipped meals to pay for hosting fees. They saw a loser. When I came home one weekend, tired, unshaven, still debugging something in my head, my father exploded. "You quit your job for this nonsense?" I didn't respond. I never told them what I was building. I wanted to surprise them one day, to walk in, tell them I made it, maybe buy them a house, repay their faith. I didn't know they'd lose theirs first. The breaking point came when I caught my father selling my old gaming setup online, the one thing I'd saved from my childhood. "You don't need this junk. It's taking space." Then came the shouting match, him yelling about wasted potential, my mother saying she couldn't stand the sight of me anymore, and me, calm, detached, already halfway gone inside. When he said, "Go live in the streets," something clicked. They thought they were throwing me out. I knew I was walking away from the past. I didn't tell them that 3 weeks earlier, my startup had closed a $15 million acquisition deal. I didn't tell them I owned 2 properties under my partner's name to stay off the radar during negotiations. I didn't tell them I'd already donated half my earnings to fund a community shelter, the same kind of place they thought I'd end up in. No, let them think I was broke. Let them sit with that illusion. I left the house with my duffel bag, got into my Tesla parked 2 streets away, and drove off without looking back. For 3 weeks, I stayed quiet. Not a single call, not a text. But I wasn't idle. I bought the old grocery store where my father used to work part-time, the one that closed down after mismanagement, renovated it, turned it into a co-working hub right next to their neighborhood, and I made sure the grand opening was loud enough for the whole town to notice. The day before the opening, I sent invitations, not to them directly, but to everyone they knew. Old neighbors, my dad's coworkers, my mom's church group. The poster had my company logo on it in gold. Below it, my name, founder and CEO. When the news spread, my aunt called me first. "Your parents are saying it's a coincidence." I smiled. "Tell them they're welcome to come if they want." They didn't show up, but they watched from across the street. I saw them standing there, half hidden behind their car, as reporters took photos of me cutting the ribbon, shaking hands with local officials, talking about jobs and innovation. Their faces I'll never forget. Confusion, shame, maybe even a flicker of pride buried under years of bitterness. I didn't go to them. Not yet. 3 days later, my mother called. Her voice trembled. "We didn't know, sweetheart. We thought that you'd—" She went silent. Then my father came on. "You should have told us." I laughed. "Would you have listened?" He didn't answer, just breathing on the line. Heavy, uneven. "You said I was useless," I continued. "You said I'd never make it." That was true. Maybe it was. Maybe I needed to hear it. For a second, I almost forgave them. Almost. Then he said, "Come home. We can talk." I looked around my office. Glass walls, clean lines, my team laughing in the next room. Home? I already had one. I am home, I said softly, then hung up. A week later, my aunt sent me a photo. My parents' house with a for sale sign in the front yard. They were moving to another town, apparently. Rumors said they couldn't handle the whispers, the questions, the quiet embarrassment of realizing the son they disowned had become the most successful man in town. I didn't celebrate. I didn't gloat. I just sat in my office that night, watching the rain slide down the window, thinking how fast love can turn to pride, and pride to poison.